Okay? So looking at this, now we know exactly what the American strategy will be. Basically, the strategy will be to inflict as many casualties as possible on the Iranians. All right? To kill as many people as possible. Destroy the infrastructure of Iran so that the people don't have enough water, electricity, food to survive. Okay? And the third, of course, is to create as much ethnic tension in the country as possible by arming and encouraging and bribing ethnic groups to rebel against the central government in Tehran. Right? Okay? But again, what the law of asymmetry tells us is that the empire ultimately is not as flexible and open and dynamic as its enemy. Okay? The weaker person is going to engage in much more self-reflection, self-debate than the empire, okay? Because the empire will become arrogant. And so ultimately, Iran should triumph over America. And in fact, what's going to happen is that this strategy that America will use against the Iranians will lead to the Iranians becoming much more energetic, open, and cohesive. Okay? So let's look at the American strategy specifically. All right. So this is an ethnic map of Iran. Okay? Now, certain things that you will see is how divided the country is. Yeah, the Persians are in the center, but people you want to watch are the Kurds. Okay, the Kurds. And the Azaris. And the Balochs. Okay? These are the three major problem areas for Iran, and it's always been the case. Remember, the Persians are in the middle. So the Balochs are, first of all, Sunni Muslims. And as we discussed last class, the Sunnis and the Shias have never really gotten along well together. They have different, they're the same religion, Islam, but they have different belief systems. That's led to a lot of conflicts in the past. It's almost like the Catholics and the Protestants, okay? And so the Balochs have been trying to rebel against Iranians for a long time. I guarantee you that there are already Israeli and American special forces embedded in this area, okay? The reason why is that they want to encourage as much civil conflict as possible, but they also want to prepare the possibility for a ground invasion of America, okay? So they would need a forward operating base. And this area could be a very good place for a beginning of a land invasion. Then over here, you have the Kurds. Okay? The Kurds are another minority that seeks national sovereignty. And right now, what's happening is that the Americans and the Israelis are bombing this area heavily, and they're targeting police stations. Why? Because they're trying to reduce and eliminate opposition so that they can arm the Kurds and have them come into this area and threaten Iran. What's also happening is that in Iraq, there are these Sunni groups, okay, that the Americans are basically bribing and arming, and they're basically fanatics, okay? They're ISIS. And what the Americans want to do is send them into Iran to cause as much problems as possible. Okay? Then over here you have Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan, it is an independent country. What's really odd is that the majority of ethnic Azaris are actually in Iran. 60% are in the country, 40% are in the country of Azerbaijan. Which means that from the perspective of the Azerbaijani people, this war could be an opportunity to reunite the people, okay, and create a greater Azerbaijan. So these are the three problem areas that you have to watch as this war develops over the next few weeks, over the next few months. Okay? So we already know what the American strategy will be because we've seen it in Libya, in Syria before. Okay, so what is the strategy? All right. So again, the strategy is to both attack without, okay, from outside, and inside as well. So what you're going to do is this. You're going to arm these people, embed special forces into these insurgent groups to lead them and provide air cover so they have a clear path into Iran and are able to limit opposition, okay? All right? So now you're attacking from without. Attacking from within means to cause as much pain and suffering in the interior of Iran as possible. All right? And how do you do that? Well, you do that through decapitation. Okay, let's go over the strategies. Okay, decapitation. Okay. And what you're doing is you're removing the elite. Okay, or what we call command and control. Okay, you're basically limiting the capacity of Iran to govern itself, to have a leadership, to have an elite. All right, command and control. Okay, so that's the first strategy. Second strategy is aerial bombardment, okay, aerial supremacy. So again, America has the most advanced airplanes in the world. And the way that it's using its airplanes is to destroy as much military installations as possible, but it's also engaging in acts of sabotage.